to sad music when you're depressed, or do you listen to happy music?
Jason, the only way you can find yourself in the light is to find yourself in the dark first.
Right.
I listen to music that is very telling of my mood, yes.
I go to like sad country songs.
Yeah, I just listen to Taylor's music. She has something for everything.
That's fair. That's a good point.
Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, a power couple in the National Football League who appear to be redefining the intersection between sports and entertainment, have been the subject of intense attention from fans of popular culture for a number of months now. However, another story has been quietly unfolding behind the scenes of the romantic fairy tale that Swifties celebrate and Chiefs fans adore. One in which Travis's ex-girlfriend, Kayla Nicole, is involved, as well as a string of cryptic posts, subtle jabs, and possibly even a lyrical clapback from Taylor herself. Every single thing came to a head with the release of Taylor Swift's new album, The Life of a Showgirl, which has already caused a firestorm on social media. Fans began making connections between the lyrics of a specific song, Opalite, and Kayla Nicole, Travis Kelce's ex-girlfriend, whom he dated intermittently for approximately 5 years before the relationship finally came to an end in 2022. This discussion has sparked a significant amount of controversy on the internet. The phrase that caused everyone to start talking, one could not possibly comprehend it. What caused you to feel so isolated? During the time that she was on her phone, you were actually in it, and she was just posing for the camera. I can't believe how talented Taylor is lyrically. There is a lot of love in the lyrics. The untrained ear, on the other hand, will perceive it as nothing more than another reflective line from Swift's extensive lyrical library. To those who are familiar with the background, however, these words give the impression that they are based on real-life experience, possibly derived from what Taylor may have heard from Travis himself. Kayla Nicole was a self-assured, outspoken, and successful media personality in her own right before the glittering spotlight of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's relationship. She was a part of the Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's relationship. She was born Kayla Brown, but she later changed her name to Kayla Nicole, a name that would soon become well known to fans of the Kansas City Chiefs. She is not only a member of the influencer community, but she is also a journalist, a model, and a podcast host. She has a strong presence on social media and has an ambitious career. Over the course of her career, she has held positions as an on-air host for major sports and entertainment outlets, conducted interviews with the most accomplished athletes, and established a brand that is unabashedly daring, humorous, and fashionable. Fans quickly embraced her as the self-assured and sophisticated girlfriend of one of the most prominent players in the National Football League, NFL, when she started dating Travis Kelce in 2017. In addition to being adoring and glamorous, their relationship was picture perfect for Instagram. Nevertheless, there were cracks visible behind the pictures. They went through a brief breakup in the year 2020, made a comeback, and then officially ended their relationship in the year 2022. When a lyric by Taylor Swift mentioned that she was in her phone, fans immediately recalled a video clip that had been resurfaced from one of Travis and Kayla's previous moments together. Kelce tells Kayla while they are sitting at a dinner table, "Oh my God, get off your phone." Kelce's tone is lighthearted, but it is clear that she is irritated. "You are not even drinking your wine from this point forward. Are we able to leave?" At the time, it appeared to be simple banter between the two of them. Years later, however, it is being reinterpreted as a possible window into the tension that they experience in their real lives. As a result of the fact that Taylor Swift is said to have made a reference to it in her song, fans are convinced that it is a deliberate call back, one that suggests Travis had vented about that very moment. Kayla Nicole, who was not one to remain silent, gave the impression of giving a subtle response on Instagram. Within the context of Taylor's song, she posted a throwback clip from America's Next Top Model, which showed contestant Eva Marcel being compared to other women. This post felt loaded with meaning because of the context in which it was discussed. Following that, she published a second post with the following message: "And when God gives you ball, ball." This was immediately interpreted by fans as a message of bravery, resiliency, and possibly even defiance. a response that exudes self-assurance and comes from someone who refuses to be marginalized by the narrative that is being constructed around her. However, this is not the first time that Kayla's voice has been heard in the setting of the conversation. She has made cryptic references to her past relationship with Travis Kelce over the course of the past year, both in interviews and through posts that are not entirely clear. There have been times when she has made comments on her podcast and Instagram stories that many people have interpreted as being a slight against Taylor Swift, occasionally through the use of clever means and occasionally through timing that was a little too perfect to be considered a coincidence. When viewed from the outside, Kayla and Travis's relationship appeared to be the best example of love and success. In addition to her frequent attendance at Kansas City Chiefs games, they were frequently seen together at events, red carpets, and parties. She was also a regular at Chiefs games. However, their romantic relationship was anything but straightforward. Their careers, the pressure from the public, and the fact that they had different priorities all contributed to the relationship's share of difficulties. Despite the fact that Kayla is known for her self-assurance and her ability to speak her mind, she frequently expressed her frustration regarding the scrutiny that came with dating a high-profile athlete. She made it clear in an interview that she was finished dating athletes, explaining that she would prefer to be with an executive at a record label or a movie producer rather than another sports star. This statement was made after the couple had ended their relationship when trolls flooded her comment sections, accusing her of being bitter. She clapped back with one of her most famous quotes. She said, "When life dealt me lemons, I decided to make a lemon martini out of them," which has caused a lot of people to be upset. We appreciate you watching. The ferocious response that Kayla gave was a perfect representation of her personality, someone who may be hurt but chooses not to reveal that they are broken off. By the time Travis Kelce met Taylor Swift, he had already established himself as one of the most well-known athletes in the United States. On the other hand, dating the most famous pop star in the world catapulted him and his life into an entirely new level of fame. Kelce famously admitted that he attempted to give Taylor Swift a friendship bracelet with his number on it during her Eras tour concert in 2023. This brought about the beginning of Swift and Kelce's relationship, which began in a low-key manner. The relationship between the two celebrities, which began as a playful gesture, has become one of the most talked about celebrity relationships in the world. Taylor, who has always drawn inspiration from her personal life, found that her relationship with Kelce opened a new chapter in her creative journey. Her most recent album, titled The Life of a Showgirl, is replete with songs that explore topics such as perseverance, fame, criticism, and love under the microscope, all of which she is all too familiar with. The fact that fans dissected Opie and believed that the lyrics were about Travis's ex-girlfriend was not merely a matter of gossip. Using a combination of personal experience and poetic distance, it was a classic example of instant storytelling. Despite the fact that Taylor has never acknowledged Kayla in public, the way in which they communicate with one another through lyrics and posts feels like a subtle cultural competition. Two powerful women have very different ways of expressing the truth about themselves. Specifically, Kayla because of her sass and humor, and Taylor because of her songwriting and symbolism. On the other hand, there is no denying that The Life of a Showgirl was not the origin of this tension. Already prior to the public announcement of Taylor and Travis's relationship, Kayla was known to make cryptic comments that fans interpreted as being directed at Taylor. Occasionally, she would share posts on her Instagram stories about women who lose themselves in the process of trying to imitate the style of another person, or about people who move on too quickly through life. To get her debut citizen ornaments, but his bra was a scam. And on her podcast, she once made a veiled reference to the fact that she was being watched closely by people who had previously ignored her. Many listeners believe that she was referring to Taylor's devoted fan base, which had been flooding her pages ever since the new couple made their debut. Meanwhile, Taylor Swift has moved into a new phase of her career that is characterized by introspection. Her Eras tour, which broke records and earned more than $2 billion, 0 cents, is now over. And Taylor says that she is exhausted but proud of herself. This tour was the highest grossing music tour in the history in the industry. During an appearance on The Breakfast program hosted by Greg James on BBC Radio 1, she publicly admitted, "I'm going to be really honest with you, because I would like to perform it in an exceptionally high quality manner once more. The mere thought of doing it again makes me feel exhausted. She went on to say that she is taking pleasure in activities such as baking sourdough and regaining a sense of equilibrium in her life, which was something that was highly improbable during her 2-year tour. That being said, perhaps the most illuminating thing that Taylor revealed was that her new songwriting style has developed. It is not the same as conducting a comprehensive autopsy on myself because I am open about things. However, in recent years, I have developed a different perspective and discovered that I enjoy telling stories from a little bit of a distance on purpose. This could be her way of subtly implying that Opalite is not necessarily about her own heartbreak, but rather about what she has seen and heard, possibly from Travis himself. The splits have been made in social media. Taylor is being defended by some of her fans who argue that she is simply doing what she has always done, which is turning storylines from real life into art. On the other hand, she is accused of rekindling a feud that Kayla had long since moved on from. Kayla supporters, on the other hand, argue that she has been unfairly portrayed as a bitter person, when in reality, she is just asserting herself. X, which was formerly known as Twitter, was the platform where a fan wrote, "Kayla Nicole was there before all the fame frenzy. Why is it that Kayla is unable to post memes if Taylor is able to write songs about exes?" The response of another individual was, "Kayla's lyrics are not shade. These are the tales they tell. That is her artistry. Perhaps Kayla is reading too much into the situation." The discussion continues, and it only gets more heated with each new post, lyric, or interview that is published. There is something fascinating about this entire triangle, even when you take away the rumors and the headlines that everyone is talking about. In their own unique ways, Kayla and Taylor are both women who are ambitious, outspoken, and confident in themselves. Both of them have established successful careers by being genuine and expressing their feelings. Additionally, both have been connected to one of the most well-known athletes in the United States. However, despite the fact that their lives have crossed in a roundabout way, the things that they stand for couldn't be more dissimilar. Taylor Swift is the epitome of the poetic storyteller who creates art based on their experiences. Through the use of humor and candor, Kayla Nicole exemplifies the unfiltered modern woman who is able to take control of her own narrative. Well, one thing is abundantly clear. Regardless of whether or not Taylor's Opalite was actually about Kayla, this subtle war of words is being played out in real time, and the entire world is watching it. In addition, the public continues to be obsessed with deciphering every lyric, every post, and every gesture, despite the fact that both women continue to thrive, mainly due to the fact that in this day and age of celebrity narratives, the truth is frequently found somewhere between the music and the memes.